Hello everyone and welcome to Things of Africa. This is The Bridge. I'm David Odinla Faponda and I'm glad to be your host again on The Bridge today. Today we have a rather interesting, intriguing topic. We will be talking about relationship, sex, emotional management, and everything that has to do with butterflies popping up in the bellies of, our female gender. We live in a generation where immorality is king, all right? I would say in the past generation, people fall into immorality. But in this generation, people swim, they live, they drink, they feed from immorality. And like Jesus said, that he has not come to take us out of the world, but to rather keep us even while we are in the world. So we'll be learning from these gorgeous and virtuous sisters. How have they been able to cope, as I believe they are all Christians? How have they been able to cope living through these stream, this river, this ocean of immorality that is obviously drowning and destroying countless numbers of lives in our society? And in case you're joining us for the first time, this is Things About Africa. I'm David Odinla Faponda. Things About Africa is a pan-African interdenominational things ministry with a vision of raising young people, transforming young people with the truth of God's word into visionaries and visionaries into high flyers and kingdom influencers. Welcome, welcome, welcome once again. All right, so to my closest left, can we meet you?
Hi everyone, my name is Yemisi.
Hello everyone, my name is Sharon.
My name is Praise.
Great, so we have Yemisi, Sharon, and Praise. Okay, so let me start from my closest left. Yemisi, tell us about sexual temptation. When you hear the word sexual temptation, at what levels do you think these occur? What are the different aspects, all right, that you have maybe observed in conversation with people around? What are the things that we can see that we can define as sexual temptation?
Okay. From my own view, I will say sexual temptation, temptations that comes around sex.
Okay.
And these are occurrences that can happen around communications, and this happen majorly between the opposite sex. I mean, when it comes to the male and the female. Generally, okay, I can actually tag that as sexual temptation.
All right. Do you want to add something to that, Sharon?
Okay. Actually, as she already said, it's a device that hangs around sex itself. It can be the practices that hangs around it, all the things that come, like the steps towards it, temptation. Those things are sexual temptation again.
Okay. Praise wants to add anything?
Okay. Just like I'm trying to buttress Sharon's explanations. You know, when we say sexual temptations, it's not just sex as it is. You know, like when they say sexual immorality, it means it is not just sex. It is also other things that lead to sex that we are expected to run away from. Like those are sexual immoralities. So when we talk about sexual temptation is not necessarily have to be when a person is trying to lure a lady into sex. That may not be, actually that may be the intention, but that may not be the first approach. The first approach can be an hug, just an hug. The second approach can graduate into kissing,
All right.
and all.
Wow, I really learned a lot from, it's like the three of you brought three different perspectives, all right, to today. So if I may sum it up, you define sexual temptation as the intention, the expression, and the action. You're thinking about the thoughts, the words, either texts or spoken words, images, all right, or words as already captured audio, images, visuals, or actions with oneself, or actions with another person that leads to sexual immorality or sexual sin, basically. Okay, I want to ask a question from, let me start with Praise. Praise, tell us about a time when you had a sexual temptation. Or maybe before I ask, because that would mean I'm assuming that you've been tempted. Have you ever been tempted sexually before?
Yes.
Really? Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so how did you step out? How did you, what did you do?
Okay, thank you. The thing is, how I was able to step out of this is, first of all, I was able to know that, okay, at that instance, because from my own experience, you don't remember any principle or plans that you've planned that, okay, if this thing happens to me, this is what I'm going to do. If this thing happens to me, this is what I'm going to do. You're not going to remember those things. Why? Because for a person to be tempted, for me to be tempted, then it means that this person in question was actually, it's not an abuse. So it means that this person he has actually gotten the fact that, okay, I'm kind of maybe attracted to him. So he will use that as a bait to get to me. So the attraction is there. So because he knows that, okay, I was attracted to him, okay, and then we're in a kind of situation where we cannot move far from each other. We cannot move far from each other. It's just like having a roommate. You cannot move far from. That's how the person was to me, and the attraction was there, and he knew it. So I could not do anything. The first thing I could do was, I remember the fact that, pray, like it was like something was telling me, Praise, you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing this. Like I was seeing, it was like I was getting pictures and actions of the consequence if I get into it. So because of that, I was just like, no, I cannot do that, because I was scared of the consequence. I knew the effect already. So because I knew the effect, I knew that, Praise, if you get into this, then you are gone forever.
You're gonna.
Yeah, exactly. So the best thing I could do was, I realized that, and I was able to snap out of it. And after that, another thing I did was that I did all I could to move far away from the person. I did all I could to move. Even though there was a time the person was trying to come back, but because of the experience I had, I was now scared. I was like, oh, I won't like this to happen again the second time. So the best thing I was doing was giving the gap. So he got to know that this guy is not interested again.
Okay.
So he snapped out of it. So that was why I was able to back.
All right, great. I want to reiterate some very, very striking points you make. I'm going to ask you next, Sharon, so get set. I learned that you, and it's just what happens to every one of us. When you're tempted, at that point, you're literally clueless, because the Bible spoke about how temptation comes. Temptation comes as a response to an identified desire in us. The Bible says that don't say God tempted you. Say God cannot be tempted. Doesn't tempt anyone. The Bible says that when you're tempted, it comes from your evil desire. So I learned that you were able to identify that, and that's why it feels like when temptation comes, we don't get to remember immediately all those scriptures, all those, even if you're a preacher, all right, the best of us. we get, for a second, we get locked in between, should I not, should I not, and I learned also that you said one key thing that anchored you was the consciousness of the consequence of that action. We teach in Sins of Africa that there are two ways to break out of a very tight corner. We teach the power of purpose and the power of consequence. So if the knowledge of, okay, maybe I should share with you three just a little bit, about a major sexual temptation I had as a teenager. I was in SS3. A friend of mine had come. Funny enough, we were writing WASC, my final exam. It was biology that day. She came around to read, and while we were reading, she said she was feeling kind of, she was feeling hot, and she had to pull up her clothes, and I didn't really know that it was a setup until I just looked at her, and it was like a spark. And the only thing I remembered that pulled me out of that mess was God told me, He said, you can't do this. He said, I am sending you to. He said, you can't do this now. And it was as if at that point I had just to punch a single button, choose her or choose whatever God. I would have just chosen her over Sins of Africa, and that would have been a colossal mistake I made. So awesome. Then I want to also point out that you spoke about distancing yourself, because if you got entangled once, it means you can get entangled again and again. So that distance is really very very important. Wow, great. All right, so Sharon, have you been tempted before sexually? Have you?
Yes.
Okay. Let me crack a joke. I know Sharon personally. Sharon is one of those sisters that you like, no, come on, she lives in heaven. Come on, she dies with Jesus. So really? All right, so tell us about it.
Okay, it started with communications.
Okay.
Frequent
communications.
Then gradually it moves on to like, okay, we can't be talking. In fact, it started on social media.
Okay.
Then felt, no, we need to talk, like
there's got to be more.
So to that, then it's become closer, do you get? And then, so at that point, at that instant, it was so tense, and then you physically can think of what to do at that point.
Yeah, the emotions building up.
The atmosphere, and then you feel the body itself. It's like what it wants.
The body is saying, give me.
Like what it wants. So at that instant, I knew I have people looking up to me. And then if I do this, even if it's not, I have a sister.
Yeah.
She's actually looking up to me. And then if I do this, what will I tell her? No, she will come to me and then comfort to me for counseling, and then what will I tell her? So I just no, I can't do this. And then me, I admire things a lot. I admire people a lot, and the people I've been looking up to. I want to be like this person. I want to be like people in top places. And then if this is how they started, I'm sure they might not be where they are today. So I just no. When those things started coming to me, and I said, no, I can't. I really can't do this. So at that instant, I thank God for courage. Thank God for God. The courage just come up. Like it's just like when you fuel a fire.
Yeah.
Then it comes up and it started burning. Like no. So that is that I, with a very bold face, like no, I can't do this. and then I walk out immediately. And then after that, we had to distance ourselves, and then we'll try to let him understand. Because that day it was still calling, and they were like, what happened? Something like that. Because it's the attraction will still be there.
Yes.
But for me, it was no, I can't continue like this. So he still called, and then so I had to explain to him that no, we can't continue like this. This is what I am for. This is what I am made for. This is what I desire. So if I continue like this, most likely it will not happen. So we had to distance ourselves, and then so from there he understands. Thank God.
Wow, great. I learned something very striking from what Sharon just shared. I learned that sometimes we do not know how much damage we do to ourselves with certain lines of communications that we allow. You see, communications are like bridges, all right? You necessarily may not even tell what they bring in. It's like a cable, all right? Once you get connected, it's like a phone, all right? Like a phone that is playing music. You don't know what kind of music is being played on the phone, but you just insert your earpiece. You hear whatever it's playing on the phone. That's the way communication is. That's the way communication is. And I learned something very striking. At the instant you regain your consciousness, that come on, people are looking up to me. I can mess up. I'm a model. I'm not just a girl. I'm a model. I will need his testimony someday as I stand before people to minister. And I am so glad that you are not just thinking about billions of people. You thought about just your sister. And that is it. I really believe that if every young person think about their younger ones as a pool of challenge to live the best, highest life possible, I think most young people wouldn't find themselves in the means, in the mud they are in. Like what Praise said, that seems like something continuous about both of you. All right, I can't wait to hear EMC share her own experience, how that you have to break communication with those people. All right, so EMC, tell us about your experience with sexual temptations.
Okay, for me, let me say the story Sharon and Praise just shared is kind of similar to mine.
Wow.
Because one thing about relationship and even friendship, and from what Papa just said right now, communication is very, very important. Like, communication is so important. Communication can also be destructive. It is not properly used. It is not properly managed. Like, communication can be totally destructive. Now, this person is okay. Now, let me say, I've actually had sexual temptation not once.
All right.
And the similarity between all of this is majorly communication. Now, this person is always coming around. How are you? Now the normal way all these things comes up.
Oh, the iPad carrying brothers.
Okay, are you fine? See the way your baby is looking. And we started communicating, and this bond started getting stronger and stronger. And when this bond was getting stronger, normally before I'll be like, okay, I have plans. This is what God is saying. You have to hold on to your faith. You have to believe. You have to make your mom, everybody proud. Your purpose. I always used to be like, no. We are not. We are going straight. No distraction. But when this particular issue came up, it actually looked as if I've never written plans in my life. Like, everything was not coming. Like, there was nothing coming, it was like my ear and all my senses were kind of deaf to all my plans. Like, it was like I actually, like, everything got erased off my mind so quickly. And we started talking, and a lot of times in the midst of during those times, there are times I know I had breaks, but I had to come to my consciousness and be like, okay, wake up,
wake up.
This is actually like happening. But one of this person will come again, and you know, we keep talking, but it got to a time that I discovered that I needed to step out of this. Because personally, I don't want to say I actually like have taste for guys, but personally I knew that was not God's plan for my life. And also, aside from that, I actually know my purpose. And looking at this person, like looking at him, looking at the circumstances and the conditions, like putting this person in the picture of my purpose, like I'm trying to see if this person will fit well. And to be sincere, this person does not fit well when it comes to the fulfillment of my purpose. And my life is my purpose is my life. Like without my purpose, I do not amount to anything. So I had to call my attention. It was hard, like practically it was, and you know, this person you thought, this person is always there, this person is always listening, how are you, and stuff like that. But you know, I felt like there is still more, and this journey is far. Like I cannot, because of all of this thing, now settle for less. Because this is just, you know, I cannot, because of how are you doing, you know, just forget so quickly about what I have in mind and where I'm going to. So I had to break, like I had to, you know, I have to break from this. I have to break from the person. We have to stop communicating, you know, we just talk on normal ground. And I have to even, like, I actually summon up the courage to text the person. In fact, I explained to the person that I have a purpose. And I need to, I have people waiting for me, like, I really need to do this.
Communication.
So I actually explain to the person. So communication is a very, very vital key, especially when what you guys are talking about majorly essential. Like there are always signals and signs coming when these things come. Like we know, we just want to act like we don't know. We know that this, we just want to keep, running around it to see how things will go. So we should not risk all of those things when it comes to communication.
Whoops. Okay, so the Bible says that in the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses, a matter is established. From what I wouldn't know, we have hundreds, millions of. We really have something to learn from, from these, and it is the fact that our words are. I've known this all along, anyways. That ladies are moved by what they hear, men are moved by what they see. And imagine how much troubles, how much battles these ladies had to face, in fighting for their purpose, fighting to keep their consecration because of a word a young man somewhere, carefully threw around. I know I'm guilty of it. I must have done this maybe 1 or 2 times, or maybe more than that in the past. You just see this sister you like, and you just want to be close. Even sometimes it's out of legitimate intention. You just want to care. But you see, I think it's high time we understand that if we do not learn to put limits and caution and moderation, to some of these things, we may be doing more damage than the good that we intend to do. So let me ask, are you in a relationship?
No, presently I am not.
Are you in a relationship? Are you in a relationship? Oh no, don't tell me about this. Okay, so do you mean we live in a generation, an average girl is dating, an average girl has a boyfriend, and some girls even have girlfriends. I mean, lesbians. You have lots of all messy things going on. All right, and don't think, that's in the world, even in the church. Okay, so you all look pretty. I don't know. Our audience can possibly tell you if you're beautiful or not. Does it mean guys don't come?
Okay, so sorry. Actually, for me personally, it's not like guys don't come.
They always come.
It's like, in fact, like they are coming. Like
they are coming.
But they've come. They are coming, and I know they will still come.
Come. Oh.
So practically, So not to be sincere because.
How about you, Sharon? Sorry, let me cut you. How about you, Sharon?
Yes.
When last did you get a proposal? Or let me say a toast. When last?
So I can't remember what, like, it's, to be sincere, like, it's like something that I'm used to, so
Oh.
with my mind
Oh.
Exactly.
And you too? Wow. So, who are these guys? Okay, that's just a light note. So, in all of this, let me call them interruptions, all right? Because an interruption occurs when you have a trajectory, but you are being intercepted, all right? Not necessarily because the interception wants to assist you, all right, to get quickly, all right, to your set point. So I call it an interception, all right? So how are you able to fight off? Because I know sometimes some of these guys are handsome, some of them are wealthy, some of them even, they flash around what stuffs they have. So let me start with Praise, then I will talk to Yemisi, then Sharon in that order. How have you been able to work your way around saying, hello, no? I know some ladies go up to the extent of giving the guy a death slap, and yes, I've had very, very funny stuffs. Some other ladies would do stuff like, all right, you like me, no problem. Shebi walolo to feno. And they will keep taking stuff from the guy and things like that. But they will say, my heart is not for you. All right, so how have you been able to work your way through all those multiple proposals? They are like fairy dust now. All right, how have you been able to work your way all these years?
The first thing is, like, my friends will always say something when we talk about things like this. She will say, just know what you want. When you know what you want. Okay, explaining that now. It's true that ladies that they try to do like, I'm not interested and all. But I believe that happens if you don't have any side attraction to the person you are talking about. When you don't have a side attraction to the person you are talking about, you can easily say, I'm not interested.
Yeah.
That one is very easy. But when you know that this person, you are attracted to this person, and the person is also attracted to you.
So the attraction is mutual.
Exactly. And there are some guys, okay, let me use guys now for them. There are some guys that, looking at them physically, like, I don't have let me say a spiritometer to measure spiritual status. But from what I see, there are some guys that I've met that they are Christians, they are devoted, in the aspect of the gift of the Holy Spirit. They manifest, they are caring, they are handsome, they have money. It looks like the spec is complete. You have the specification. So in that kind of situation, one thing I always tell myself is, praise. I don't know for every other person, but personally to me, I always tell myself one thing: praise, you have a purpose to fulfill. And secondly, I also understand the fact that, a day is coming when I'll be talking to teenagers, most especially females, and they will be like, how are you able to go through these temptations, these times? I want to tell them, because I believe that our life matters most.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you tell people about someone, they don't really believe. But when you tell young person about what has happened to you, they will be more convinced that, okay, Starpress was able to do this, then I can also do it.
Yeah.
It serves as a form of motivation and inspiration for them. So every time I remember this, I can only say, it's not yet time for you to do this. And then aside that too, I also get to about these guys, that this particular type of person that I actually described. I also get to understand that, okay, I have people that I look up to. I have fathers, not just a biological father.
That's right.
I have a biological father. I have fathers. I have mothers. I have people that are elders that I look up to and that I am accountable to.
That's right.
It's not really, it is not good if I try to take any other person and go and meet them, I say, sir, this is, things like that. They will be like, I can say that, okay, they may not be able to do this. Because as Yemisi said the other time, you have a knowing too that, okay, this person, even though you are attracted to the person, you still have a knowing that
this is not it.
This is not it. I've not gotten there. This is not the person. And you have a knowing also that, please, you are not ready for this. Face your studies first. Face your skills. Know what you want to do first. Chase who you are first. When you do that, you'll be able to. I was able to understand that. Okay, it's not yet time for me to do this. I still have to face a lot of things.
Thank you so much. So, if I make up of what you just said now, get yourself fixed before you get a help mate for the fixed version of you. All right. Let me see.
Yeah. Okay. I this particular question for me, Prince actually mentioned first thing, and that the first thing she said was knowing what you want. Like knowing what you want in this life is very important, because sometimes when I tell some of my male friends, when they tell me this is what is happening to them about relationship, I tell them that, see, you know what, you cannot say you want to buy a cap or let's say a dress and you go to where they are selling roasted maize. It's not possible. But because you are so sure that, okay, I need the cap, I need the dress, I need the sneakers, as soon as you get to the spot where you go straight to that point and get what you want. That is what exactly this entails. Now, like in addition also, knowing what you want will really help you to set your priorities. Knowing what you want will help you to clear of doubt. And also, like looking at the fact that I have a purpose to fulfill, it really helps me to make a kind of selection. Like a lot of people that comes to me, like some of them are really, really rich. Yes, like they have money, they are good, they can speak good English, of course. Even spiritual brothers, they can blast in tongues, they can pray. But like I just believe that this is not just about speaking in tongues. It is not just about having money. You get, like, it's not just about how well you can dress. Like this purpose of thing we are talking about is more crucial. It's not about the physical fitness sometimes. Like it's really way more to this. So sometimes when some of these guys, like when they actually come to me, sometimes I just when they ask me for my number, I give my number sometimes to some people because I'm a business person. Even at the end of and definitely I know we are not going to be in a relationship, but I know one day you might patronize my business.
Okay.
So for me,
and that one is a bit dicey.
Yeah. So for me, I'm going to still give them my number, but I already know. And also when it comes to relationship, like I am not going into a relationship with somebody that we are going to date for 5 years and we are courting. Come on, we are talking about somebody that you are going to date, and because I actually believe in dating for marriage. Like it's not for us to date. We are not acting film that we say pause, stop. No, we are not practicing. This is marriage. Like we are going into it, and also I believe that at this time I should use this time to really invest in myself. I used to say this only in all these Igbo movies that we see, Prince. They'll go for poor children in the village. They'll start following all those girls. But in the real world, like we have guys that are secretly and dying for women that have worth and value. So like if I really need someone that is valuable, that has worth, that has great potentials and hunger for God, I also need to work on that aspect, and bring myself up to meet that person's expectation. Do you understand? So when that person sees me, will know that come on, no, I found this. And when I see that person, I will know that this is what I'm looking for.
And that's when the deep calls onto the deep. Not the shallow calling onto the deep.
Exactly. So there is no need for you to start saying, "Oh God, I need no." Like at this time, instead of you to look for guys, like instead of you to like sit down, read, pray. When you make mistake, like come up again, preach yourself, keep running, and believe in God, and everything will go.
Sharon, have you been able to navigate your way through the entire?
Okay, actually, Praise and Unity has said much about it, but I will just say this: not all that glitters are good, and then they will always come with beautiful things, flashy things, attractive things, and then you would sometimes you feel like, I need this thing. Yes, but it's not everything. It might look like it now, but it's not it. And then this time it's not as a female. Okay, I understand that. Okay, this time is not the time I should waste my time on things that I know that it's not it. First, you see, the truth about this thing is that male, they know what they want. They actually know what they want. They know the type of woman they want. But it's just that they want to just play around, and then you get. So it's a woman, I understand, okay, this is the time I have to invest in myself, add value to myself, and then know what I want. Now, when you actually know what you want, that's when it's just normal. Like minds, they attract. You attract the kind of person you are. So if you are just a shallow person, then shallow people will come around you.
That's right.
So when you build yourself, add value to yourself, then when the time comes, you'll be able to know that, okay, based on myself, based on the value I have added to myself, based on my growth rate, this is the person for me, God wants for me. So around this time, they are coming with things that might look like, no, it doesn't look like it. I understand, okay, no, this is not what I want. This is not what God wants for me at this time. So it's become easy for me to just...
You said something really striking, that the secret place is the safe place and is the formation place. That is, if we have, as believers, stay within the confines of God's presence, the confines are the instructions it gives us. For instance, I can literally look back at my teenage years and the moment of regret, even, maybe some years before I got married. Every single time I got scars, one moment when I had clear instructions, but, I felt I could, God, it's not going to be really that bad. God, I don't plan to go that far. Like you said, that, you just get to a point where you don't plan to go far, but then you get to the edge, then you just fall off. And once you fall off, there is no coming back again. And, and I think that's really something very important for, young people to understand, that your guarantee is the secret place, is God's presence. I want to say one more thing. It really dawned on me now, actually, from what you said, that why I stopped really having issues around sexual temptations. Don't really think that it stopped because I'm married. Years back, I had a conversation with a married man, and guess what he said? He said, I used to think, I'm going to get married and all my sexual temptations are going to be gone. He said, guess what? When I got married, the temptations doubled. He said, because all of a sudden, girls feel a married man is a responsible man, so he knows how properly, how well to undo a lady. I'm like, really? And trust me, I've had times when, there was a time I was in a taxi, this lady was into me, I don't know what I did, all right. We came out of the taxi, and she was waiting like, won't you ask for my number? Okay, I think I remember I went to the market to get some stuff, and, she really helped me to park this, park that. So, maybe she felt, we already built a bond. Because me too, I was always saying, oh, thank you so much. Your kind is rare. You helped me to carry this stuff everybody would literally think we came to buy those stuffs together. I think, when we alighted at, the junction of our house, she wanted more. No, I ain't got more. I just walked away. All right. And I just observed now that why I stopped having all those issues, because I have a gossip mate. Now, I'm not talking about gossip. All right, I have a gist mate. I decided, all right, I think about 3 or 4 years ago, that I think I'm done with all this female friendship. And I trusted God, and God gave me a covenant brother. All right, you all know him. All right, we talk. I mean, there is nothing we don't talk about. We talk about everything. I mean, each time we don't get to talk, now that work and ministry, schedules is piling up and all of that, also work demands, most times we will tell ourselves we have gist. And sometimes when we start talking, we can go 6 hours. I'm not joking. Sometimes we go into gisting, praying, gisting, scriptures, praying. And, I think if everybody has that,